Hello. Today, I want to talk about the number one cause of suffering on this planet. Now, what I have found in my work with clients is that anytime we are suffering, it's a result of us not feeling satisfaction in our lives. And satisfaction is actually the result of us feeling like what we want in life is coming toward us and we are able to have what we want in our life. So why does satisfaction dip in our life and why do we suffer in life? What are the causes of suffering and how can we navigate that? So dissatisfaction is a result of you living a life that is not focused on what's important to you. So if you are not living a life that is focused on what's important to you, it's because you are distracted in your life. Well, what are you distracted from? You're distracted from exactly what is important to your life. You don't have clarity on what you need to focus on in order to have what you are seeking in your life. And the third piece of it is that you're not taking the actions that are important for you to have what you want in your life. So you will realize as soon as I say this, that this is a circular problem and that these three pieces are connected to each other. The three pieces being, you are not clear on what's important to you, you are not focused on what's important to you, and you are not taking action on the things that are most important to you. Okay? So what does this look like in real life? Well, if it is important to you to increase your fitness, you can't do that without putting time and energy into your fitness. You got to be willing to do at least a minimum amount of time in the gym, whether it's in your house or otherwise, in order to get fitter, okay? So if you're not putting in the time and you don't have clarity that this is super important to you in your life, you're not going to do it. I'll tell you, people will say a lot of things, okay? But their actions reveal to me 100% of the time whether they are focused on the things that are important to them, okay? So if you're saying, I want to go to the gym, and then every day you are not going to the gym, that means it's not important to you, okay? So what we have to find out is where in your mindset have you stated that it is important to you, where is that coming from, and why is it that your actions are not supporting that? So the three pieces have to go together. So the first step in the process is you getting crystal clear on exactly what's important to you. You can tell me gym is important to you, but if you're not taking the action, that means it's not. Okay? So you have to get very transparent and honest with yourself on what is important to you. Okay? Then the next step is you have to decide that you will focus on it no matter what. Okay? So if gym is important to you, you have to make a decision to focus on it. Okay? No matter what. Okay? And the last piece is you also taking the action to support that, okay? So if a gym is important to you, you would take the action, which is either to drive to the gym after you come back from work or go in the morning before work or set up a home gym or whatever it is that needs to happen to support you in that goal. Now, if you do not do this, it tells me it's not important enough and you're just lying to yourself, telling yourself that it's important to you, okay? So then we have to look at where in your mindset have you told yourself it's important, but it's really not important to you. So whose values are you living in, okay, that is telling you that it's important to you, but you're not willing to invest the time in it, okay? So an example of this might be your girlfriend is constantly telling you, you need to get to the gym, babe, okay, and you're not doing it. And you're telling yourself, I need to do that, okay? And it's causing stress in you, but you're not willing to act on it, okay? So we have to really dig deep and find out if it's truly important to you. If it's not important to you, then we have to get you crystal clear on why it's not important to you, because you have other things that are more important to you. Okay? So getting clarity on the values, on your unique values, and I will tell you, no individual on the planet has the same value system as another individual on the planet. This is a very unique system. Okay? Even if your emphasis is on a gym and you want to work out, for example, you may have a very different way of working out than your spouse or your partner or your colleague. Okay, so we have to find out what is important to you and frame it from that context. Okay, now if it's lower in your value system, you have to bring it up in your value system. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. So if exercising is lower on your value system, we have to find a way to bring it up in your value system by linking it to your top 3 values. Otherwise, it's not happening. Okay, so the first thing is the clarity on what you want to change, your top 3 values, and then what do you want to change and bring in a little bit more, focus on a little bit more. Then you have to make the decision to focus on it. Okay, and what that looks like is saying, I am going to find a way to accommodate this in my life. So you link it. The focus develops when you link whatever is a little bit lower in your value system to what is highest in your value system. And then the last piece of that is you taking the action to support that. Okay, so action is pretty self-descriptive. Essentially, that may be setting up your home gym or signing up for a membership somewhere, or choosing when you're going to go to the gym, going maybe during the lunch hour, or going before work or after work. So making those type of decisions to support what you want to do. Now, if you do all of this, then all 3 steps, then you're going to start living in what is most important to you in the form of priorities. Now, I said distraction is the cause of suffering because sometimes we get distracted and we don't know how to get back to focusing on what's important to us. And how we focus on what's important to us is actually understanding what our top values are. And once we understand that, making a decision to not get distracted from there. Okay? So noticing, having the awareness to notice where the distractions are in your life that are not supportive of your top values, and either delegating or removing those distractions so that you can focus on your top values. Okay? So an example of this is, I want to have a house clean because I like a clean environment when I'm working, but I insist that I'm going to do all the cleaning. But I'm so busy, I don't have time to clean. You see what the problem is? It's a circular problem. So I'm going to have to delegate what I don't consider as important enough, but is important to me from the standpoint of my overall purpose, right? And then delegate that piece so someone else can do it, and it can actually merge with yours, or you have to find a different way to accommodate it. Okay? So once we start doing this, the beauty is that we can start living in our top values. Once we get clarity, and once we get focused, and once we actually take the actions, we'll start to realize and see that our life is actually very rich, abundant, and fulfilling in its experience. We're going to make some tough decisions along the way to eliminate certain types of distractions. Okay, you're going to offend some people because they're going to demand your time, and you're going to say, well, I'm focused on my top 3 values, not in a rude way or in a hurtful way, but just in a very understanding and connecting way with these people. You might decide to connect in a different way with your friends. Okay, so my point is, you have to structure your life around what you value the most and what are the actions that support the values, your top values that you have the most. And that is the pathway to living the most fulfilling, satisfying, and enriching life that you can in this lifetime. And when we live in that space, our suffering does not have a place anymore in our lives. We are actually stoked by our inner fire. We are inspired. We have intrinsic motivation to do a lot of the things that we're wanting to do with our lives and to really live in the broadest of broadest energies of what we actually want to bring in. And this is the way to eliminate suffering and to also live in the top values so that you can feel like you are living in your soul's energy. If you haven't taken my Live, Love, and Lead assessment, I invite you to take the assessment. It's going to show you where you are not really engaged in your life. There are 7 or 8 dimensions in our life, depending on who you ask, right? I go with 8 dimensions these days. So what this helps you to see is where your life is not so fulfilled, which dimension your life is not well-rounded and fulfilled, which you're ignoring. So for example, if relationships are important and if you put that to the back burner because you're not willing to do something to actually make it important, it's not going to become important in your life. You got to give it time and place if it's important. You got to take the actions if it's important. You know, if you say it's important and you've taken no action on it in the form of thinking creatively and opening up your mind to go beyond your normal thinking, then it's not important to you because you're not opening your mind. You're closing your mind in terms of your options. Okay? So the Live, Love, and Lead assessment will show you which part of your life is more open, where you're more well-versed and connected to the dimensions of existence, and where you're not so connected. I invite you to take that assessment and see for yourself where you could do with a little improvement. And it'll be pretty self-descriptive, but if you have a comment or a question, drop it in the comments below, and I will be glad to answer your question there. Okay? Have a good day.